Everything changed the moment you realized that love, even if it seems delayed, can enter your life at the exact time you need it most. This isn't just about romance. It's about a force powerful enough to heal old wounds, uplift you from past heartbreaks, and rewrite the destiny you thought was fixed in stone. You felt a stirring in your spirit, a sense that something extraordinary is on the horizon, something that will transform every corner of your life. This is not an empty promise. It's a call to prepare. If you sense it too, then please like, subscribe, and drop 77 in the comments. That small act signals to the universe that your heart is open and you're ready for a love that moves mountains. Chapter 1. Understanding the timing of your heart's awakening. There are times in life when you look around and wonder why you seem to be the last one to find the kind of love that truly resonates with your soul. Others may have discovered relationships that appear solid, or at least satisfy conventional expectations, while you navigated a maze of letdowns, betrayals, and misconnections. Yet you couldn't shake the notion that, for you, love would be something otherworldly, an experience that transcends the ordinary. Through every disappointment, your spirit clung to an unspoken certainty that your story wasn't meant to mirror everyone else's. You might have questioned this certainty in moments of loneliness, doubting if it was just wishful thinking. Perhaps you even tried to force relationships that left you feeling empty, or settled for companionship that dulled your inner spark instead of igniting it. But each time the universe let you know something wasn't right. You felt restless, confined, as though your soul was whispering, "Wait, there's more." The journey was never meant to punish you, it was meant to prepare you. The timing of your love's arrival is part of a divine orchestration that you can't fully comprehend when you're knee-deep in heartbreak. Over time, you realize the heartbreak itself was a teacher, guiding you toward greater self-awareness and an expanded vision of what partnership can be. The heartbreak also carved out a depth within you that could accommodate a love more profound than anything you previously imagined. Without those trials, you might not have recognized the extraordinary when it finally appeared. Right now, your spirit is waking up to a monumental shift. You feel twinges of hope you haven't felt in ages, tiny sparks that hint that everything might change in an instant. What's happening is more than just a random thought. It's an energetic signal that resonates through every part of you. You might find yourself dreaming more vividly, catching glimpses of synchronicities, like seeing the same numbers on clocks or hearing sounds that resonate with your deepest desires. These aren't coincidences. They're guideposts urging you to stay alert. You're not the same person you were a few months or years ago. You've grown past illusions and half measures, learned to establish healthier boundaries, and uncovered strengths you never knew you had. A heart that once felt fractured is now more resilient, and its readiness is magnetic. Life has tested and refined your capacity to love, ensuring that when the right person or experience steps into your path, you welcome it with full presence, free from the baggage of regret and doubt. This awakening is not just about attracting a partner. It's about recognizing the vibrational shift that occurs when you finally decide, from the deepest part of your soul, that you are worthy of a love so profound it changes everything. The lateness of it is an illusion. In truth, it's arriving precisely when your spirit is prepared to receive it. And when it does, every obstacle you've ever faced will seem like a stepping stone that led you to this defining chapter of your life. Chapter 2. The quiet transformations you've undergone. There's a subtle process that's been happening within you, often without your conscious awareness. Through every tear shed and every disappointment survived, your inner world has been reshaping itself. You've been purging old beliefs that told you love should be hurried, or that you weren't deserving of a powerful connection. Each trial left behind a lesson, bit by bit forging a stronger sense of what you genuinely seek in both yourself and another. Yet transformation isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's found in the quiet acceptance of your own worth, the gentle letting go of people or habits that drained you, or even the new ways you speak to yourself, where your internal dialogue might once have been self-critical or fearful. It's now shifting into something more compassionate and open. That's not a small change. It's an alchemical process that reprograms your entire energetic field, making you receptive to the kind of love you used to think was impossible. This quiet internal work has had ripple effects in your external life. You might have noticed certain friends drifting away or new connections forming. Perhaps your interests and passions have shifted, leading you to explore new places or ideas. These aren't random occurrences. They're signposts that your inner transformation is rearranging your life to better align with what's coming. When love arrives in a grand way, it often requires a level of authenticity that can't coexist with old limitations. Your spirit instinctively clears the path. You may also have discovered a newfound tenderness toward your own emotions. Instead of numbing your pain, you learned to listen to what it had to say. Instead of masking loneliness, you explored where it pointed, unearthing desires and needs you had long buried. This level of honesty can be uncomfortable, but it's precisely this discomfort that readies your heart for a love that merges intimacy with growth. When you connect with someone who values emotional truth, you'll both see that the vulnerability once feared is the very bond that cements real, lasting affection. Even your boundaries have changed. Where once you might have settled for relationships that felt safe or convenient, you're now unwilling to compromise on the depth you crave. This isn't about being picky or aloof. It's about respecting the wisdom your heart has gained. You no longer entertain superficial attachments that rob you of peace. Instead, you're unconsciously saving space for someone whose frequency matches the heights and depths of your own. Perhaps the greatest shift is that you've grown more comfortable with solitude. Instead of filling every empty moment with distractions or people who don't appreciate your essence, you've learned to sit in the stillness of your own company. This solitude isn't loneliness. It's a sacred environment where your real self emerges, untamed and unapologetic. That's important because it is from this place of genuine self-knowing that a love can blossom without distortion or games. So when that transformative connection finally appears, it won't feel alien. You'll recognize it almost immediately because the energy it brings will match the subtle expansions you've been nurturing inside. Every break, every tear, every revelation was nudging you closer to this readiness. And now, as your spirit grows quiet and grounded, the universe is orchestrating a converging path to someone who resonates with this elevated frequency. You'll look back and see how every shift you made in silence was preparing you for an encounter that will shatter past limitations and create a bond beyond what you ever imagined possible. Chapter 3. Trusting in the Cosmic Conspiracy for Your Happiness. There's an old saying that when you truly want something, the universe conspires to make it happen. For the longest time you might have doubted that. Every disappointment seemed like evidence that you were unworthy, or that destiny was ignoring your pleas. But behind the scenes, a grander plan was forming, a cosmic choreography that required patience and a certain level of spiritual maturity on your part. When love is meant to radically shift the course of your life, it can't be rushed. Everything has to line up perfectly. This is the conspiracy in your favor, unseen forces weaving circumstances together in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. You might have felt this nudge during random coincidences, like stumbling upon a quote that soothed your heart exactly when you needed it, or meeting someone who taught you a crucial lesson just in time. These moments weren't random. They were stepping stones preparing you for a deeper connection that transcends what ordinary relationships can offer. Of course, free will plays a part. The universe can present opportunities and lay out synchronicities, but you have the final say. You could ignore those signs, clinging to past pain, or remaining trapped in cycles of self-sabotage. Yet each time you chose hope over despair, vulnerability over cynicism, you realigned yourself with this cosmic conspiracy. It's your willingness to keep believing in love, despite everything, that kept the possibility alive. There's an energy that grows when you trust in a higher design. You start to see that the delays or detours weren't punishments, they were precise adjustments. Maybe you needed to move to a new city, change your career, or discover a hidden aspect of your own personality before you could fully appreciate what's coming. This seemingly late arrival is actually right on schedule for the life you're meant to live. Every path you took, even the painful ones, served as a clue to your soul's ultimate destination. As you lean into this trust, you might notice your anxiety lessen around the idea of running out of time. There's no time limit on a connection that's divinely orchestrated. It arrives exactly when your spirit is equipped to handle it. You begin to believe that all the heartbreaks were as crucial to your story as any joyous moment could be, because they purified your desires and sharpened your discernment. Instead of being jaded by the past, you glean wisdom from it. Keep tuning into the subtle cues around you. The more you acknowledge these cosmic nudges, be it a new acquaintance who seems oddly familiar, or a meaningful conversation that arrives at the perfect moment, the easier it becomes to stay in flow. Your role is to remain open, to keep your heart receptive, and to trust that you aren't alone in orchestrating the life-altering love that's on its way. The universe and your soul are co-creating an experience that's as unique as your fingerprint. And when that convergence happens, when you stand face to face with this person who seems to illuminate every corner of your life, you'll feel an instant sense of rightness. It won't be a fairy tale fantasy, but a connection grounded in reality, laced with a shared understanding that you've both weathered storms for a reason. That's the real magic. Two people who recognize that their union was guided by a force larger than themselves, and who now have the courage to honor it fully, transforming everything in its path. Chapter 4. Preparing your inner sanctuary for lasting union. Before something so powerful can anchor itself into your life, you must create space. This goes beyond rearranging your schedule or tidying your living room. It's about building an inner sanctuary within your heart and mind. The love you anticipate isn't a fleeting romance, it's a profound bond that demands a stable foundation. You're not just inviting someone into your life, you're welcoming them into the deepest chambers of your soul. One of the first steps in this preparation is to clear emotional clutter. Past heartbreaks or unresolved resentments can act like invisible barriers that block the flow of new love. Think of them as energetic knots that need untangling. Whether you do this through journaling, therapy, prayer, or heart-to-heart conversations with a trusted friend, the goal is to free yourself from old entanglements. As you release them, you'll feel a new lightness in your spirit, a readiness that can't be faked or forced. At the same time, learn to identify and dismantle limiting beliefs. Perhaps you secretly feared that love must always come with pain, or that good things won't last. These beliefs can sabotage even the most promising connection. Each time you catch yourself thinking in these patterns, question them. Is this a universal truth, or is it a story I've adopted from past disappointments? The more you challenge these narratives, the weaker they become, making room for healthier beliefs to take root. Another crucial aspect is embracing a self-care routine that nurtures your soul. This isn't just about pampering yourself with nice treats, though that can be part of it. It's about consistently doing the things that align you with your highest vibration. Maybe it's meditating every morning, taking daily walks in nature, or immersing yourself in creative endeavors that bring you joy. These activities recalibrate your energy, ensuring that when someone special enters your life, they find you at peace with yourself rather than looking for them to fill a void. Your relationships with friends and family also undergo a subtle shift as you prepare. You may find yourself drawn to people who uplift you and repelled by those who perpetuate drama or negativity. This isn't about being cold or unkind, it's about self-protection and discernment. By surrounding yourself with supportive, compassionate individuals, you cultivate an environment where genuine love can flourish without the interference of toxic influences. The final layer of preparation often involves learning to communicate authentically. When you meet the person destined to create that massive shift in your life, surface-level conversation won't suffice. You'll need the courage to speak your truth, reveal your vulnerabilities, and listen deeply to what they share. This level of communication fosters an unbreakable bond because it's rooted in mutual respect and understanding. You stop fearing rejection because you realize that the right person will celebrate your honesty, not exploit it. Through these preparations, you shift from passively hoping for love to actively making space for it. You become a custodian of your own destiny, ensuring that you're not merely waiting, but building a life and an inner world worthy of a profound partnership. By tending to your inner sanctuary, you send a clear signal to the universe. You're not playing around with illusions of love anymore. You're committed to a love that transforms, not just your heart, but the entire trajectory of your existence. Chapter 5. Recognizing the soul that mirrors your growth. Preparing for a life-changing love is one thing. Recognizing it is another. In a sea of superficial bonds, it's easy to confuse fleeting chemistry for true depth. Yet the connection you're about to encounter won't hide behind illusions. It will resonate with the evolved version of you that refuses to settle. A key sign is the familiarity you feel upon meeting or re-meeting this person. You can't explain it, but there's a sense of homecoming, a quiet relief. Even when you discuss sensitive topics, you're oddly comfortable. This ease comes from your parallel growth paths, as if your souls have walked similar roads, gathering wisdom that now harmonizes. Notice how they respond to your vulnerability. Where past relationships might have dismissed your honesty, this person shows curiosity and empathy. They respect your boundaries, yet gently invite you to share more. As trust builds, it overrides the old fear of revealing your true self. A genuinely aligned partner doesn't restrict you, they encourage your full bloom. Pay attention to the quality of your conversations. You delve into purpose, spirituality, and personal growth, topics that once felt too deep for casual chats. Even silences carry meaning, brimming with understanding. This emotional and intellectual intimacy goes beyond physical allure. It's a meeting of minds and spirits that can't be faked. You'll also feel a surge of positive energy in their presence. Instead of draining you, they mirror your best qualities, igniting your drive to grow. Challenges will arise, of course, but with them, difficulties become lessons that bring you closer, not obstacles that push you apart. Meanwhile, your intuition doesn't stay silent. Maybe you've dreamt of them or seen signs pointing to a love on the horizon. Those internal nudges grow stronger the moment you connect. And while logic may cast doubts, it can't be this good. The quiet voice within reassures you. Trust that voice and notice the subtleties your rational mind might dismiss. When you recognize the soul mirroring your growth, past illusions lose their hold. You stand on the threshold of a life chapter rich in mutual respect, depth, and unwavering camaraderie. The biggest error now would be to doubt what your spirit already confirms. Embrace this blessing, arriving right when your heart is ready to cherish it completely. Chapter 6. Navigating the inevitable tests that forge a deeper bond. No matter how destined a connection feels, it will face tests that measure its strength. These challenges aren't punishments, they're refinements, proving whether a love that claims it can change everything truly can. Tests can arise from old insecurities, external pressures, or life's curveballs. How you weather them together determines whether your bond deepens or weakens. One common test stems from personal baggage. Even after significant healing, remnants of past wounds can suddenly surface. A small disagreement might trigger doubts about whether it's too good to be true. Open communication is vital here. Instead of letting pride or fear drive a wedge, acknowledge your triggers. A partner aligned with you will listen without condemnation, offering mutual vulnerability so you both feel safe to share. Another test might involve shifting circumstances, a major career move, relocating, or increased family obligations. These changes can tempt you to revert to old coping mechanisms, withdrawing, lashing out, or becoming passive-aggressive. Yet, this is when cooperative problem-solving shines. Rather than letting pressures isolate you, address them as a team. Your bond matures from mere romance into a robust partnership that adapts to every new challenge. Friends and family can also test your devotion. Some might raise eyebrows at the speed or depth of your connection. Others could feel threatened by a perceived loss of closeness with you. Standing firm through these opinions demands faith in what you share. You weigh their concerns, but don't let external doubts overshadow your inner certainty. Such moments affirm your loyalty to each other. The most significant tests often come from within. Both of you may fear abandonment or worry about losing something so precious. In response, you might overcorrect by becoming clingy or distant. Recognizing these patterns and addressing them gently prevents sabotage. You choose daily trust, understanding that trust must be renewed rather than assumed. Calling each other out lovingly turns potential pitfalls into gateways to deeper intimacy. Ultimately, these tests confirm the durability of your love. Overcoming each hurdle reveals that your connection bends without breaking, weathering storms without collapsing. Challenges are the forge in which your union's strength is proven. By the time you emerge on the other side of each trial, you're not the same people who entered it. You're more resilient, entwined, and confident that destiny made no mistake in bringing you together. Chapter 7. Embracing the new path that shatters old limits. You stand at the threshold of a future unlike anything you've known. This love, arriving unexpectedly, promises to reshape everything, your routines, your goals, even your beliefs about relationships. To embrace it fully, you must let go of old fears and identities that once shielded a vulnerable heart. Now you've grown beyond those walls. The connection you share no longer constrains you. It expands your sense of safety, revealing how a bond can fuel growth rather than stifle it. In this realm, communication evolves into an art form, not idle chatter, but conversations that trade souls. You explore each other's dreams, examine one another's fears, and celebrate victories as if they were your own. Even mundane errands transform into shared adventures. Life's demands remain, but they feel more surmountable in the presence of genuine partnership. With this shift, your personal goals may merge with your partner's, forging new visions you never imagined alone. Or you might discover fresh passions stirred by the inspiration this person awakens in you. Old self-imposed limits begin to crumble, and you redefine success to include emotional and spiritual fulfillment. Not everyone around you will grasp your transformation. Some may call it reckless or temporary. Let them. Your life isn't a spectacle for others' approval. It's a sacred journey of becoming. As you navigate this new path, the love you share acts as both anchor and lighthouse, grounding you while illuminating your ascent to higher possibilities. Ultimately, this embrace requires standing boldly in your truth, unafraid of how brightly you might shine. You and your partner hold space for each other's evolving dreams, combining strengths into a force few can understand, let alone. Such synergy elevates love from a private affair to a testament of what two chosen souls can do when they decide to rewrite their destinies together. Everything changes now, and that's the point. The timing of this love was never a denial. It was about two paths needing the right lesson in perfect alignment. Having converged, you move forward without hesitation, honoring this gift by living fearlessly in its light. Your heart has waited for this moment. Now that it's here, it's time to walk boldly into the future it promises.